first thing that I want to say is I want to say welcome to Teresa, one of our great new cast members. Teresa, you got your Masters of Fine Arts from USC in screenwriting. That's a very welcome addition to our cast roster because we love to have the writer's perspective.
Thank you.
Rather than what we usually do, which is review a movie, I really want to talk about a movie that hasn't even come out yet.
They just want a good show. That's all they want. You know how to hunt. Show them how good you are.
I'm a big fan of the books, and I'm very anxious to see this movie, and I know that both of you are fans of the books as well. Liz and Teresa, why don't you give me some background on the books themselves?
I'm a big fan of The Hunger Games. I really like Suzanne Collins' style. She has a background in television writing. It's a very visual story, and also the scenes are very tight.
What's interesting about Hunger Games is that the audience isn't just tween boys and girls. Teresa, you and I are big fans of the series, and Dennis, I know that you've read it and you enjoy it as well.
Yeah, I did.
So it applies to adults as well as children, and I think there are themes that are explored in the series that are incredibly compelling to adults, like the criticism of media culture, allusions to fascism, to politics.
There's so much action in it. There's just really great character development. It's a book that crossed over.
Let's talk about the movie. The best place to start is talk about the producers. And Nina Jacobson was a Disney exec who left corporate life to start her own production company, and she's done Diary of a Wimpy Kid and One Day. They were crowd pleasers. They scored pretty high on IMDb and on Metacritic among fans, but they scored pretty low among reviewers. However, she's partnered with John Kilik, a veteran producer who has produced no less than 39 major feature films. There's Babel, Pleasantville, 25th Hour, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. Together, they make a really good team. Nina Jacobson brings this kind of crowd-pleasing sense, and paired with John Kilik, who clearly has good taste, and he has definitely the experience to elevate that crowd-pleasing into something that's, truly great.
I wonder if that's how Gary Ross came into the picture, because John Kilik produced Pleasantville, Gary Ross directed Pleasantville. It gives me solace that Gary Ross is a writer-director on this piece. Sure, there are 3 writers that are responsible for the text of this adaptation of Hunger Games, but the fact that the director is also one of those writers and helping shape the scope of this project makes me feel a bit better.
Gary Ross has written big, which to me shows that he really understands teenagers. And Suzanne Collins is also listed, and because she wrote the book and she has a background in television writing, right, I'm really excited to see what she can bring to the script. And then the last writer, Billy Ray, some of his credits include Flight Plan and Breach, and so he really understands action.
Well, enough about the writers and the directors and the producers. I know what we're all really interested in is who's the cast? I mean, who's going to play Katniss and Gale and Peeta? What do you think of the cast?
I'm excited about Jennifer Lawrence. I really liked her in X-Men First Class. I felt that she exuded intelligence and strength, but also there's like a darkness about her. Yeah. And I think that that is what Katniss is all about.
I loved Winter's Bone, and Jennifer Lawrence had an incredibly strong performance in that film. Personally, I don't think she's proved herself since, so it makes me a little bit nervous. Because the character in Hunger Games is so like the one in Winter's Bone, I have less anxiety about her ability to tackle the role.
What about Gale and Peeta?
When I saw the 3 leads of Twilight, they looked exactly the way that I'd pictured them when I was reading the books. Oh. Versus the trailer for The Hunger Games, Jennifer Lawrence fit Katniss, but when I saw Peeta, he looked too small. Josh Hutcherson, I don't know if he's big enough physically to fit my idea of what Peeta should look like. And the same with Liam Hemsworth is that he looks a little bit too wholesome, where it's almost like he could have played Peeta. There wasn't enough of a distinction between the two. And I also don't know, with the chemistry between the 3, I'm not feeling the heat in the trailer, but we'll see.
I just keep wishing I could think of a way to show them that they don't own me. If I'm gonna die, I want to still be me.
I just can't afford to think like that.
When I pictured Gale, I pictured someone really cliche, like this archetype of masculinity and brooding, this brooding quality, and I didn't really see that so far, but, you know, maybe it'll work out. Maybe his performance will shine through.
I would have liked to see for Gale, Ben Barnes. I think he did really well in The Chronicles of Narnia, and I also think he just has the look of Gale, like the very tall, dark, and brooding type of man. With Peeta, I would have liked to see Hunter Parrish. I think he was one of the fan favorites. Hunter Parrish was on Weeds, and I think he did a really good job there.
What I'm very excited about are the supporting characters. This is some brilliant casting. Donald Sutherland as President Snow. He's so good at this regal presidential thing, and yet he's also so good at being evil. He's just gonna kill in that role. And I love Woody Harrelson's casting as Haymitch. I just think that's inspired. Who else could go from being the town drunk, this kind of falling down drunk slapstick humor, and yet at the same time be believable that this guy kicked ass in his own Hunger Games, came out on top. Plus, we need look no further than The Messenger to see that Harrelson has that pathos. He can deliver that on screen, and Haymitch needs that. So I think he'll be brilliant. I also love Elizabeth Banks as Effie Trinket. Effie Trinket is so vapid and so clueless. You really need somebody who's got great comic chops because she doesn't realize she's vapid and clueless. The only thing that I'm not so thrilled about is...
Can I just guess? I think I know. Is it
Take
Cinna?
this.
Is it possibly Cinna?
You win the Cupid doll. Kravitz? That's kind of stunt casting.
So you're here to make me look pretty?
I'm here to help you make an impression.
This is not a small part. You need an actor who, with minimal dialogue and minimal screen time, can portray this sense of intelligence that he's kind of set things in motion. And to me, you need somebody like Giovanni Ribisi. That's an actor who can, with one facial expression, convey a conversation's worth of emotion.
Well, apparently Gary Ross approached Lenny Kravitz about it because he liked Lenny Kravitz's performance in Precious and thought it was incredibly understated.
Like Twilight, where you have Team Edward and Team Jacob, in the Hunger Games, you've got a similar kind of triangle. Do you go for Team Gale, the strong kind of hunk, or do you go for Team Peeta, the wholesome kind of guy who will sacrifice his life for Katniss, the woman he loves? Which one would you go for?
I would go for the sexy one. I'm gonna go for Gale.
I don't know. I'd say that makes you shallow, but okay. That's we can live with that. Liz.
I'm Team Peeta because I think Gale is kind of an ass. It's a quick way of putting it. I think Peeta's an upstanding guy. I think he's interesting, and I think he's self-sacrificing.
We've said about all there is to really say about the upcoming film. What I am curious about, though, is where our fans and subscribers come in on this. I hope that they respond to this video and that they let us know what they like and don't like, what their hopes and desires are for the film, and whether they're Team Gale or Team Peeta.
I'd like to know, especially with the string of recent young adult novel adaptations, I'd like to know which are some of the fans' favorites. There's been Harry Potter, there's been Percy Jackson, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Twilight, and I'm just curious with the fans, which ones are their favorites?
I just want to know who should play Cinna, because I can't think of who would be better than Lenny Kravitz, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure there's a huge slew of people who'd be better, but I can't think of a specific person.
Well, let's go to the cloud. People, tell us who you think should play Cinna. The Hunger Games, we're looking forward to it. Until then, the pub is closed. Cheers.
Cheers to Hunger Games.